Hello students, this is Mrs. Cairo. So in our book this week, The Rainbow Weaver, Eshell found a way to make beautiful things out of plastic bags. And this week I am going to show you how to use Plarn or plastic yarn to do some different fiber arts projects. I'd like to show you how to make this macrame wall hanging using Plarn or plastic yarn that is cut from grocery bags. So macrame is an art form where string or twine or rope is tied in a series of knots that make a cool design. So to do this, we need a stick and we need 9 pieces of our Plarn. 1, 2, I'm going to use a variety of colors of my Plarn. Now, we do have to do 2 different types of knots today. We are going to learn a lark's head knot first. That is the knot that helps attach our macrame to the base that we are working on. So I'm going to open up one of my pieces, one of my 9 pieces, and to do the lark's head knot, we take the loop, which is still attached down here. That helps us to know where the halfway mark is. If you're using yarn or some other kind of cord, just make sure that it's folded right in half. Put the one end, the looped end, under your stick, and then take the opposite end and just feed it through that hole and then gently pull it down. And we're going to do that make 9 of those along the top. But before we move on, I'd like to show you the other knot. The other knot is an overhand knot. And it's kind of nice to practice that before it's part of the macrame design so that you can really see it. So for an overhand knot, we're going to be taking a couple of strands of Plarn together that are already attached, and we're going to be wrapping them around our fingers to make a loop, and then tucking that tail through the loop and pulling. So you need to know how to do that knot in order to make the macrame thing that we're going to do. So you might want to practice that a little bit. I'll do it one more time. We wrap it around our fingers, and then use your fingers to make that little hole and tuck the tails together through and pull. So those are our 2 knots that we're going to be doing. I need to get 9 strips hanging down from this stick. All right, so once you get all 9 of your strands tied with that lark's head knot onto your stick, make sure they're all kind of even, and we're going to lay it down. And now we're going to switch over to that overhand knot that we need to do. So to make our pattern, we need to bunch these into 3s. So we have 3 strands here, we have 3 strands in the middle, and we have 3 strands on the side. And now is also a good time to cut these loops so that they are no longer attached at the bottom. So take your ends and snip those so that they are all equal lengths pretty much. And you'll be able to divide them the way you need to once we start doing our knot pattern. There we go. So we are going to come down just a couple of inches and make one of those overhand knots with our 3 pieces. So grab it right here, wrap it around your fingers, make that little hole, and pull all 3 of those strands through. Now, before you pull it tight, you want to look and make sure you line up that knot right where you want it. And now I'm going to take the 3 in the middle and try to make this knot right in the same spot. So I'm twisting it around my fingers, going through there, diving through and pulling those strands. And I'm watching where this knot is going to end up, trying to make it even. So again, these are our overhand knots. And now I'm going to grab these 3 and position this knot right here, another overhand knot. There we go. And now we are going to separate these groups because these look nice together here, but we want to join them so it makes that nice diamond pattern. So I'm going to take 3 of these from below the first one and 3 of this one. We're going to divide them up. And now half of this knot and half of this knot are going to join together again down just a couple of inches. We're going to make a nice overhand knot again. So once you get the hang of that knot, this is really easy. And if you know how to braid, or somebody in your house knows how to braid, it would be fun to add some parts of this that are braided if you'd like. That would be a way to make it even more fancy. So now I'm going to take half of this knot and half of this knot, and we're going to join those again, equal with this one. So I will wrap it around my fingers, pull it through, and I try to make it kind of even there. There we go. Now we're moving down to the next level and we're going to join these back again. So I'm going to take half of this knot and this side of this knot and join them down a little bit further again. Ooh, as we get to the end, we have to be real careful to grab them all. They're getting shorter. And notice I keep having to push my stick up and there. Keep them all nice and straight. So again, we only want half of this knot right here. And we'll tie it right here. Now, if you twist or turn these, you can change the way which part of the bag is facing out. Like that one has a lot of blue on it, but oh well, it just adds some color. I'm going to tie that, making this even. So I really push that knot right where I want it. And now the last one. Right here. So macrame is all about patterns of knot tying. And if you want to look up and learn more about it, there are tons of online tutorials that can help you get more advanced and more into this if you find it interesting. And if you have yarn around your house or twine or rope, you can use that too. And I'm going to trim these to just make them even at the bottom so that it looks nice. If you had little beads or anything you wanted to thread in here as you go, you could. Now the last thing you want to do is add a string to hold that up. So I'm going to take this one that I practiced on and I will tie onto one end. Tie a little knot to hang this up with. And then the other end, ooh, that one was kind of short, but that's okay. And tie it around here. And I can't wait to see what kind of designs and patterns you guys come up with. Finish tying that. If you pull too hard on the Plarn, it will break. So just be gentle. Pull them snug, but not too hard. If you feel it start to stretch, it's getting starting to break. So there we go. We have a little hanger at the top. And if you want to, you can twist this and it makes it look even more like a rope or twine. But there you have it. Plarn macrame. So have fun creating.